What's up guys, Mr. Bazy here, and today we're going to be talking about something fairly new, or a concept that's fairly new. Basically, is there any more room for new precision rifles in Halo? The last one that we've seen, the newest, was the light rifle, and it made sense. An implementation such as that weapon made sense because it was a new species. It would make sense that they had a precision rifle that performed differently than other ones and had different attributes and even shot different ammo. Of course, that shoots hard light, where other ones like the Covenant style weapons shoot plasma related ammo, and of course the humans, the UNSC, are regular bullets, lead and all that stuff. So is there any more room for a precision rifle? And if so, my theory behind this is, if so, I would like to see difference in it. I would want it to be a bit unique, okay? A lot of, the common denominator between the precision rifles that we see today is they're all relatively deadly, okay? The DMR, of course, very, very accurate, extremely good long range, of course. BR, very good. It awards accuracy, it awards precision with a very quick kill. A bit easier to use up close than the DMR, but harder to use long range, with a DMR excels. Light rifle, just an outstanding weapon, especially long range. Great supportive weapon, but still extremely deadly. It doesn't need to be used as a supportive weapon. Just the sheer power of that weapon makes it very good, supportively and everything. And the Covenant carbine, very fast, very accurate. It's a great weapon. So moving on to this, I wouldn't, if we were going to implement another primary weapon, I wouldn't want it to be another weapon that is as deadly as all those. I would like to see a supportive change. So not really focused on killing, but rather supporting your teammates directly. Now, this proposal, normally I have a few weapons in mind, or maybe I'd have a few examples, but today I only have one, and honestly, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments down below, not just about what I'm going to talk about today, but any ideas you may have for precision rifles, secondaries, handguns, shotguns, power weapons, whatever it is. I'd love to hear it. I'm sure you've got some great ideas out there, some creative ones, unique ones at that. But today we're going to be talking about specifically precision rifles, and a new one that I've been thinking of. And I'll be honest, this is not a brand new design. It is recycled from a weapon we saw in Halo Reach. And this weapon was known, to me anyway, as the alligator gun, the assist machine. You'll see it on screen right here. Basically, this is basically what the gun was actually called, what it looked like. So you'll probably be familiar with it if you played Reach. I just don't remember the name right off the top of my head here. But either way, it was extremely good at depleting the enemy shields. Not so good at actually killing the enemies, though. But, again, I used to refer to it as the assist machine because it was very, very good at doing that. Now, this precision rifle is going to be adopting a lot of those traits. It's going to be a consistently firing weapon, so basically a beam. And its primary function is going to be shield depletion and not killing. Now, this weapon would work the best if it had a clip-based reload system, not a, percentage that can be overheated like a lot of plasma weapons we've seen in the, modern Halos and even before, of course. So, maybe a plasma cartridge or something that kind of got depleted and you need to swap it out for another one. I think this would work really well, mainly because of what I'm going to say next. But I want to first say, when using plasma weapons, of course they overheat, but you can pace your shots to the point where if you're good enough at pacing the shots, they never overheat. And I don't want that to be about this weapon. I don't want the weapon to be an overheat-based function because I feel like it will definitely ruin the whole design of it. So the whole idea behind this is that it is extremely bad at penetrating armor. It focuses heavily on depleting an enemy's shields, but its armor penetration is 0 to none, okay? So, or slim to none, I should say. So it's not going to be good at killing enemies at all. So much so that actually an entire clip can only kill one enemy if you hit the majority, and I mean a big percentage of that particular clip. So it actually can only kill one enemy per clip. Now you may be saying, well, that weapon sucks, Mr. Bazy. Why would anyone use that trash heap? Now, here's the kicker. The weapon is extremely effective at depleting shields, so much so that 2 to 2.5, maybe 2 1/4 enemies can have their shields dropped by a single clip. Now, before I continue on that, one of the very first things that comes to mind when I think of a consistently firing weapon like a beam is that, well, this game has D-scope. That's a bit unfair that this thing will keep enemies out of scope so effectively while really just destroying their shields. That's a bit overpowered in my mind. So I would think the best way to implement this would be to have this weapon not actually descope an enemy, and there's some logic behind this as well, because you may be saying, well, they're actually getting hit, so why are they not getting descoped? Main reason is I'm assuming getting descoped is from the sheer, of course we're talking about a video game here, but I'm trying to, kind of give logic behind what descope actually is. Descope is getting shot and feeling, the character you're playing, feeling that, impact, feeling the pain or whatever, or the reverberation. Maybe the bullets are very, very strong, and it kind of takes them out of scope. It takes them back. They cannot maintain their aim. That's basically what I'm assuming descope is. This weapon has literally no armor penetration almost at all. So you're not going to be, getting descoped by it because you're getting shot by it, but your shields will definitely suffer. So getting back to the idea of depleting shields. 2 to 3 enemies, okay, I would say is good. Maybe not 3 because that's a bit overpowered. I would say 2 full enemies, and maybe you could even, if you were 100% accurate, you didn't miss a single percentage of the clip you were using, you could actually deplete the enemies, deplete the shields of 2 enemies, and maybe a quarter of the shields of a 3rd enemy. Not entirely like the most powerful thing, but it can be very rewarding for people that are extremely accurate. And again, you'd have to be very accurate with this gun. Pretty much, like I said, you can deplete up to almost 3 enemies of their shields, but you have to hit nearly all the percentage of that clip. So 2 full people, and then if you're 100% accurate, a 4th of the 3rd person. So basically, this weapon it just excels at shield depletion. Really good supportive weapon, but it only really rewards people that are going to be really, really accurate with it, that are going to play the role effectively and really try to support their team rather than go for kills with this particular weapon. And I think that's fairly unique in terms of a precision rifle, because not many things in the past, other than that particular sniper rifle, which was a power weapon, did I ever really see do that? You know what I mean? It's never really been like that. Precision rifles and primary weapons and all that have usually been lethal. That's the main focus of them, is to be lethal, not be supportive. So that's essentially the whole concept behind this, and why I think it would be so unique and so balanced, because not only can you not kill 2 enemies with a single clip, but you can't even de-scope them. So they actually have the advantage long range, because they can maintain their scope and keep you out of scope if you're trying to just kind of, be a noob, sit in the back of the map and just deplete everyone's shields. So this particular weapon is, in my personal opinion, fairly balanced. It has very good shield depletion capabilities, really, really poor lethal capabilities, and extremely poor descope capabilities, making this thing, in my opinion, just right on the balancing scale, not being too overpowered, because again, if it could descope the enemy all the time, then it would be really unfair. You'd be able to just kind of lay into the enemy's cross map, and they wouldn't be able to do much about it. You'd be kind of limitless in terms of the range you could be effective at, whereas in this, it's going to reward people that are really accurate with it, really consistent with it, people that can, when they get descoped, can scope back in and really, maintain that fire, which is going to be very difficult, because remember, you don't have the capability to knock those people out of scope either. So it would be fairly interesting. I think it'd be a very balanced weapon, very, very hard learning curve, extremely hard to get used to and be effective at. But if you do become effective at it, and you do become really good with this weapon, you could be of extreme use and to your team, and they will absolutely love you for being able to be good with this weapon because of the fact of how good the shield draining capabilities are. Because I mean, we're assuming, yes, you can deplete 2 full enemies of their shields, and even a 3rd to a small degree. But the other teammates are going to be shooting at them at the same time. So this weapon could be very, very effective, and but only to people that I think take the time to master it, get really good at it, and play enough of the game to really understand the weapon and become proficient with it. So let me know what you're thinking about it in the comments down below. I know this is a slightly complicated topic to think about, because there's so many different variations, but I think in terms of weapon balancing, when you think of weapon balancing, you really do need to consider these things, because if you don't, you end up with weapons that are literally way too overpowered than they should be. Look at, and I don't mean to diss Call of Duty in any way, but look at Call of Duty. Look at the current Call of Duty, okay? I know many of you may not play it that are watching this commentary, but let's look at that. There's 2 weapons. There's an SMG and an assault rifle that are literally the most dominant guns in the game. The last time I saw this was Black Ops 1, where the FAMAS, which was the most powerful weapon in the game, was the only gun that was used. Literally the only gun that was used in competitive play. In casual play, people used whatever they wanted. But you know, it was singled out in terms of the best weapon possible, and everybody used that weapon, and it just wasn't really that fair. It was fair, but it was like there's no weapon diversity, and I don't want to see that with this game. I think there's going to be a lot of weapon diversity, and I think this one really kind of throws a curveball at the whole situation and really rewards people that are, you know, one, can perform the supportive role, and two, are willing to do the supportive role the correct way and really help their team as much as possible. So once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Rate the video what you think it deserved, and if you'd like to become a Sage in training, make sure you subscribe today. This has been Mr. Basie, your favorite Sage, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.